Sleep is one of those things we don't realize the value of until we're not getting enough of it. And if your child struggles with falling asleep, staying asleep, or even just getting ready for bed, you're definitely not alone. Sleep challenges are incredibly common, especially for autistic children and children with developmental delays. And when one person in the house isn't sleeping well, no one is sleeping well. But there are evidence-based strategies that can help. In this video, we'll walk through simple ways to improve sleep using behavioral approaches grounded in ABA. That includes how to set up a calming bedtime routine, how to create a better sleep environment, and how to use reinforcement the right way to support healthy sleep habits. First, many autistic children have differences in how their brains process information. That can mean they're more sensitive to lights, sounds, or even the feeling of their sheets or pajamas. So while bedtime might seem like a calm and cozy time for adults, for some kids, it can feel uncomfortable, unpredictable, or even scary. Second, sleep is a transition, and transitions are hard, especially when your child is going from an activity they love, like playing or watching a show, to something less exciting like going to bed and being alone. Third, your child might not know what's expected at bedtime. If the routine changes a lot, or if bedtime only starts when they're already overtired, that can lead to more resistance and big emotions. And finally, we have to consider past experiences. If your child has had a lot of nights where they've cried or struggled at bedtime, they might now associate that time with stress, and that can make it even harder to fall asleep, even if they're tired. Here's the good news. All of these challenges can be addressed with simple, consistent strategies. A predictable bedtime routine is one of the most powerful tools you can use to improve sleep. Think of it like a wind-down ramp. It helps your child's body and brain shift from active to restful. The key here is consistency. The routine should happen in the same order around the same time every night. That predictability helps your child know what to do, what to expect, and that lowers anxiety and resistance. Start by choosing 3 to 5 calming activities you can repeat every night. These might include taking a warm bath, putting on pajamas, brushing teeth, reading a short story, listening to calming music, or doing a brief relaxation activity. Keep the whole routine short, ideally 20 to 30 minutes. If it's too long, your child might lose focus or become more active again. And remember, the activities should be calming, not exciting. This isn't the time for high-energy games or screen time. If your child uses a device before bed, try ending screen time at least 30 to 60 minutes before lights out. Blue light can interfere with melatonin production, which makes it harder to fall asleep. Visual schedules can help. A simple chart or pictures of the bedtime steps can reduce power struggles and give your child a sense of independence. Some parents even laminate the routine and let their child check off each step. This can turn the routine into a shared success. If there are certain parts of the routine that are more difficult for your child, like brushing teeth or turning off the light, build in some intentional reinforcement like praise, high fives, or even a tangible reinforcer to motivate them. We'll talk more about reinforcement soon, but even a little encouragement can go a long way. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Over time, your child will learn to associate the routine with winding down and getting ready for sleep. Once your child is calm and in bed, the next challenge is often getting them to stay there. For many families, this is the hardest part, especially if your child tends to get up frequently or doesn't fully understand when you tell them to stay in bed. Let's start with the basic truth. Staying in bed is a skill, and like any skill, it can be taught with patience, consistency, and a little planning. For children who understand verbal instructions, you can explain the expectation. You can say something like, after we say goodnight, you stay in your bed and try to fall asleep. A visual reminder, like a picture of a child sleeping, can help reinforce this. But for many children, especially those with limited language comprehension, that might not be enough. In these cases, your actions will teach them more than your words. If your child gets up, calmly guide them back to bed without extra attention. No lectures, no reasoning, no negotiation. Keep your tone neutral and your response short. This is minimizing reinforcement. You're not ignoring your child, but you're also not giving them anything extra that makes getting out of bed more appealing. For children who get out of bed repeatedly or struggle to understand boundaries, you may need to use a shaping procedure. That means you gradually teach them to stay in bed over time. One way to do this is by sitting in their room at bedtime, not to interact, but to make it easier to redirect them when they get up. Start by sitting near the bed. Then each time your child gets up, quietly and gently guide them back to bed with as little attention as possible. After a few nights, move your chair closer to the door, then out into the hallway. Eventually, you fade out your presence altogether. This approach takes time, sometimes a few nights, sometimes a few weeks. That's why it's best to start when you're prepared for a few tough nights and you have the support you need to get through it. You can also add reinforcement for progress. Maybe your child earns a sticker for staying in bed, or a small prize after a few successful nights. For some kids, a special breakfast or even a simple high five can go a long way. No matter where your child is starting, the key is to stay calm, consistent, and clear. With time and the right strategies, they can learn to stay in bed and everyone in the house can get a little more sleep. As with most ABA strategies, reinforcement is the key to helping your child build and maintain new habits, especially when it comes to sleep. Think about what motivates your child. Maybe it's a special breakfast, extra time with a favorite toy, or even a sticker chart. When your child stays in bed or completes their bedtime routine, follow it up with something they value. Start small if needed. Reinforce even small successes like brushing teeth without a meltdown or staying in bed for 5 minutes. Over time, you'll fade the reinforcement as the new routine becomes more natural. But early on, it's okay to use more frequent or larger reinforcements to get things going. Just remember, progress may be slow, and that's normal. Some nights will be harder than others, and setbacks don't mean the strategy isn't working. Learning to fall asleep and stay in bed independently is a big skill that takes time to develop. Stick with it. Your calm, consistent approach makes a huge difference, even when it doesn't feel like it right away. And if you're unsure how to adjust the strategy for your child, or if you've tried and it's just not working, reach out to your BCBA. They can help you tailor these strategies to meet your child's unique needs and make a plan that fits your family. You're not in this alone. Sleep can get better, and you're already taking the first step by learning about how to help.